Hey, it's Rachel from the Life Facilitator, and I am going to talk about stamping. If you have been around here for a while, you know stamping is one of my favorite things, and particularly using Cocoa Daisy stamps. So we are going to talk about a couple ways I've already used the stamps this month, and then also a couple things that I want to do and show you how to do with the stamps moving forward. So let's start talk. Let me start by sharing the stamps from this month's collection. So this is one of them. These two, I believe. These two came in the Confetti Wishes memory keeping kits. Now, just a tip for you. I hate missing the stamps. I love the stamps. I want them every month, and I want both stamp sets. So if you are not a memory keeper, but you love the stamps, you can actually subscribe to just the stamps, which is what I do. I get the Traveler's Notebook kit, but I want both stamp sets. So if you are not wanting all the other things, you can always just get the memory keeping stamp sets, and they don't disappoint. Like every month I love them, and I use them, and I still use them. And you can see here, these are just the ones that I have from past months. It's in a Target little like plastic container, and these are the ones I pick out each month, a few stamp sets that I think I'll use, and then in conjunction with my current stamp sets. And so yeah, so I love the stamps. They're my absolute hands down favorite part of every collection are the stamps. There was also a extra stamp set, and I think this one's called Dandelions, and it's beautiful. It's wonderful for making backgrounds and just doing decorative things with. It's really pretty, and I've used it quite a bit already. And then the other stamp set I want to talk about is this was a exclusive stamp set from several months ago, but there is a semi-similar stamp set that has numbers in it, and I believe days of the week in the Cocoa Daisy store right now. But also this is, if you didn't have this stamp set, there are lots of like functional planner stamp sets that are out there that I think are just good to have, just to have in your stash, especially ones that have dates, and then days of the week, and then like to-do lists and that sort of thing. So I love this stamp set, and even though it's not available anymore, there are lots of stamp sets similar to this that I think if you are looking to get into stamping more seriously, especially if you're a planner person, it's good to have like a functional stamp set in your stash. Saves you on stickers. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how I have already used the stamp sets for this month, and we'll go back to December, and I have recently posted this on my Instagram, this one is lots of stamping. So what I did here is I used this stamp set, and I did the stamping first. So I did I would do the outline or the pattern first, then I went back in with the outline, and I did the same thing for the smaller washi strip. Then I actually drew the boxes in with pencil and then with a pen. And then after that, I filled it with stamps and So here's another stamp there. And then I used the other stamp set. This stamp set came, by the way, this stamp set came from the planner add-on kit. So not every planner add-on kit gets stamps, but this month we did, and I was super excited to get it. And then so I used this one and stamped there. And then that's enough for today. I've used this one a few times, and then this one felt good for, you know, the day after New Year's. And then you could have left it blank, but I received some cute little colored pencils in the classified add-on kit. And I simply colored in the different little boxes, and I just loved it. I think this is so cute. I also used stamps to mark out blog posts, and I just, you know, added a little stamp to mark that we were flying. And then of course this one. Now this I stamped poorly the first time. So I just took some sticker paper, literally a scrap. If you use printable sticker paper, I literally keep the scraps for stamping on. So very helpful. Or cardstock. And stamped onto the sticker paper and put it right over top. And yeah. Oh, and then here I also used this meal stamp to stamp my meal plan for the week. And then my bullet points came from, where are you? Oh, yep. Came from this stamp set, and I used the bullet point to mark. So super handy. And again, this is in my planner. Even though these are meant for memory keeping, they're super handy for planners as well. All right, next up is in my memory journal. So this is I have another video going through this, but I wanted to talk a little bit about very specifically where I used stamps in here. So I used the January stamp. Where is it? Oh, here it is. So I use this stamp two ways. One way was I just simply stamped directly on the page and did nothing else to it. And then I also stamped it here, but I did a masking technique here. So to mask a stamp, you simply take it, add it to your block like that. Take a little washi tape. So this is a great technique if you get a stamp set that has something on it that you don't want to see. And so then you put the washi tape on like that. Now you go and you ink up the stamp. Okay. Now, this is important. You have to make sure to take the washi tape off the stamp. Otherwise, you will get a big blob of ink on your page, and nobody wants that. Okay, very carefully put that in the garbage. Okay, and then we'll just add this to one of my daily pages, and firm even pressure, and there you go. So this, if you got this stamp and it says less Monday, more, but like Monday but longer, and you just want the January, this is a super easy way to just get the January. So love that stamp. Oh, and while we're over here, let's do a little cleaning. So this is just a scrubber pad. I got this, I'm pretty sure I got it at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or something like that. I used just a little bit of water and then you scrub. You can see I use this a lot because it's very inked, and now your stamp is clean. Okay, so that's how I use that stamp set. And then I have a whole process video for this one, but just to go through it real quick, I did an ombre effect on this stamp. And then my favorite part is that I used the grid stamp to make my days of the week. So I used this stamp and then in conjunction with this functional stamp set to make the days of the week. Love it. Love how it turned out. I also use stamps for this spread, and I don't have a process video for this, but I'm going to do a little bit of tutorialing on how I did this. So I started with watercolor and put blobs of watercolor down, and then I stamped over the watercolor and then just added some extra little dots there. I wasn't being particular about the size of the watercolor blob, so I like that it kind of is wonky. And then I also stamped the days of the week using a stamp set from Cocoa Daisy from a few months ago. It looks like this. But I will say that there is a smaller version of this stamp set available in the Cocoa Daisy shop right now, which would be a good one too. And then again, I also used the similar technique that I did in my planner here, just made a box with the washi and then stamped inside. So used the number stamp to mark what I did that day. Guys, I just love stamps, let's be honest. Okay, so those are the few ways that I've already used the stamps. A couple other ways that I'd like to share with how to use the stamps, and I have mentioned this in previous videos, and I will try to link it if I remember. But I love to stamp onto stickers. So here are two sets of stickers. This is what's left of the classic planner kit and the memory keeping kit. So I love to stamp on stickers because it's nice to be able to have that option. And plus there's all these cute little phrases and things that actually fit pretty nicely inside or on stickers. Oh, I didn't even realize, that fits, sort of. So that's what I want to do today. So I'm going to stamp a couple of these onto stickers, and I know what I was looking for, particularly things like the of note is great there. You could add the date here. These labels up here, you could do the same thing. The date, of note, day in the life on top of those ones. So there's lots of options especially for these smaller stamps. Yeah. Anyway, that's one thing I wanted to do. And the other thing I'm going to do is stamp on paper and make die cuts. So these are some pages from the Traveler's Notebook, the Confetti Wishes Traveler's Notebook. And I'm not currently using the Simple Dory for any particular purpose, but I do, so I'm going to repurpose the paper because this paper is glorious and the patterns are wonderful. So that's what I'm going to do. Those are the two things I'm going to do, and I'm going to use the stamps in order to make it happen. So keep watching if you want to see the process. So as I mentioned, I am first going to start by adding some stamps to some stickers. And this, again, as I mentioned, I really love putting stamps on everything, and especially the stamps from the classic sticker kit and classic sticker kit and the memory keeping sticker kits that either have big white spaces or the patterned paper, like the patterned ones. Here I'm adding the numbers instead of the hearts, just to switch up the clipboard a little bit, and I like how it turned out. You can see the hearts a little bit underneath, but it doesn't bother me. And then I'm going to add the camera icon to a couple of these littler stickers. And again, stickers are great, or stamps are great, especially little icon stamps and things are great for these smaller stickers that you may have trouble using. If you're like me, I sometimes either have trouble using them or just sort of forget to use them. And then I am going to use just part of the stamp. So I inked only a part of it to add to that little sticker. And this is a great way to make your stamps go farther. Your stamps are your stamps, so you can adapt them to whatever you need them to do. So I have cut stamps before. I've done a lot of things to change a stamp to make it how I think I'm going to most effectively use it. And then again, just adding a few of the other elements onto these pages. And next I'm going to transition to creating die cuts. So I love this little paper airplane, and we got a bunch of them in the die cuts, but the nice thing about creating your own die cuts is this paper in the Simple Dory is pretty thin. It doesn't have a lot of dimension, whereas sometimes die cuts, even a flat die cut, can have too much dimension. And so sometimes I like to make my own die cuts because then I can have a little bit more control over the dimension, or over the, what am I trying to say? Over the dimension. I guess that's the right word. And so this paper was perfect because it had colorful elements, and so I could create kind of like ombre or two-tone little die cuts, which I just really liked. And then I'm just fussy cutting them out. Just one quick tip. I should have waited probably like 5 minutes before I cut these out, because they did smear a little bit, but that's user error. That's my fault. So if you are making your own die cuts on paper, I would just suggest give it a few minutes before you cut them out. You'll see by the end of the video, my hands are very inky by the end of the video. And that just happens. I mean, that's just par for the course for stamping, for me at least. I think I mentioned this. To clean my stamps and my fingers, I have a little water spritzer, and then I will spritz the water onto a stamping cleaning pad. And then for my fingers, I just spritz the water on my fingers and then dry them off with a little towel. I have a old washcloth that I use to clean my fingers and to clean my stamp blocks, because my stamp blocks get pretty icky too. All right, so here I am, as I was jabbering, I am going to play around with color and stamps. So I'm using mild liners, highlighters. You could use Tombow brush pens. You could use watercolors to do this. But I'm just making little blobs, and the blobs are not going to perfectly match the stamp image, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to look like that. And so I made a little cluster. Ultimately, I'll cut it out and use them separately. But for now, I've just kept the cluster as is. And again, this is such a great way to use, the papers from the Simple Dory, especially if you're not currently in that system for memory keeping or for journaling or for whatever. So here I'm taking advantage of the blank pages in the Simple Dory to create my own patterns. And then here I'm showing you again, I'm going to use some masking to make a blank bubble, word conversation bubble for the bird. And then lastly, I'm doing some masking to a masking technique to create a space to write January with this floral pattern. And so that is it. And I'll show you how I kind of put these together using pocket cards, and also did some stamping on pocket cards. So thanks for watching. Make sure to catch the blog post, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!